Welcome back, guys. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. Today I'm going to be talking about Tyler Higbee, what I think he's going to bring to the Rams in 2024, and if he can come back from his injury. Before we dive in, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan. Let's get into it. So Tyler Higbee, 6'6", 255-pound tight end for the LA Rams, is going to start the season on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list. And the reason for that, you guys have been living under a rock, but pretty much I would assume everyone has pretty much seen this. Kirby Joseph of the Detroit Lions dove right into Tyler Higbee's knee and unfortunately tore his ACL. And obviously I have my thoughts on it. I'm not going to get into it because I've explained it so many times. But the former fourth-round pick out of the 2016 NFL draft by the Rams, he's always been a really key contributor for the Rams. I think he's the greatest Rams tight end in their history. Now, to be fair, they haven't had, John Mackey's of the world and Tony Gonzalez and all that. But Tyler Higbee's damn good, and he's important to this team. He's a good blocker. He's a good receiver. He has a good rapport with Matthew Stafford. He can make plays in the flat. He can make plays deep down the field. He could really help you as an impact blocker. And he works a little bit in the red zone. But there are two other guys. They added, of course, Davis Allen last year in the draft, and they just signed Colby Parkinson to a 3-year deal. So what's the deal on Tyler Higbee? Where are we on him? Well, this is somebody last year that had 47 receptions for 495 yards and 2 touchdowns, okay? Not his best year. He's had over 3,000 yards for his career, over 350 catches, and he's had 22 touchdowns. Now, he's had games where he scored 3 touchdowns in a game. He's also had games where he's had no catches in a game. So looking at last year, of course, not his best season, probably the lowest output he's had, if we're being honest, since 2018. Okay, he was dealing with some injuries. He was banged up. He was playing banged up, so that probably had something to do with it. As far as the playoffs go, he had 1 target thrown his way and did not catch it, because, of course, he had the helmet go right into his kneecap. Now, Tyler Higbee is somebody that I have a ton of respect for. He's somebody the Rams really like. He's somebody the fans like. He's somebody we all hope gets better and is ready to return. And it's not just to help the team out, but it's because, we don't like to see injuries. As long as you have a soul. The former, obviously the one-time Super Bowl champion, Tyler Higbee, who didn't get a chance to play in the Super Bowl because of an injury, an unfortunate injury against the 49ers. This is somebody that I think definitely wants to play in a Super Bowl before his, season and his career is up. So, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at Higbee, 31 years of age, won't be 32 until January. What I'll say about Higbee is this. This is a serious injury. I don't care that he's had 7 or 8 months by the time the season kicks off to get ready. I know he's rehabbing. And I mentioned this, I know he's been featured in videos, including Behind the Grind. But the reality of the situation is this. I don't have any doubt that a professional athlete can get himself back in shape to play football. I don't have any doubt that a professional athlete can do what's necessary to get him back from any sort of rehab or recovery assignment. I have no doubts in Tyler Higbee's ability to do that. I have a doubt on Tyler Higbee's abilities after this injury. This is debilitating. He's had a lot of injuries in his past. This is the worst. This is awful. So hopefully he's the same player. But couple that with age, the severity of something an injury like that, and the fact that, of course, he didn't even have his best year last year, he could be going downhill. And we have to prepare for that. We have to brace ourselves for that. So I hope Tyler Higbee comes back and he's ready to go. And again, it has nothing to do with the team, although I'll be happy for it. But I just want him to be able to have the rest of his career be successful and have opportunities. We don't know how much longer he'll be with the Rams. I believe it's just 1 more year, maybe 2. Off the top of my head, I think it's just 1 more year, though. So with that said, we don't know how long he's going to be around. We don't know if he'll come back. We don't know. I'd love to see him return. Being on the PUP list, I think he's probably going to come back around week 5 or week 6. So the reality there is that if he comes back around week 5 or week 6, that means we've already seen 4 or 5 games of all these guys, whether you're talking about Parkinson or of course, Davis Allen, or even Hunter Long, who's still on the roster, or maybe even, Neil Johnson or Kalanick or, Forrestall. If any of these guys make the roster, we've already seen 3, 4, or 5 games of them before Higbee came back. And that's going to be the problem, is that Higbee is a starting tight end, but this injury could rob him of that, especially if Davis Allen and or Colby Parkinson really just go off at the beginning of the season. And I think it's possible. They both have the athleticism to do so. I think Higbee could be stuck in the mud a little bit. With that said, they're very high on him. They want him back. They did not even blink. When he got hurt, they stuck by him. They're rehabbing with him, all of that. He's going to be on this roster, but when? So I think looking at Higbee for this season, I wouldn't expect too much from him. I got to be honest with you. I wouldn't expect too much. I think this is a very serious injury that is being a little downplayed because sports medicine, 2024. Oh, ACL? That used to mean the end of people's careers like 10, 20 years ago. And now it's just like, oh, it's just an ACL. He's out for the year. He'll be back next year. He'll be ready to go. There's a mental hurdle on that. And the way he suffered the injury, it could be in his head forever. I mean, catching that pass, obviously it wasn't in the flat this time. He was actually going out for the pass, and he's catching on the run. And people say it's a hospital ball thrown by Matthew Stafford. And maybe you're right. But I also think it's a dirty hit, which, by the way, is legal. But it feels like a dirty hit to me. Intentionally going at somebody's knee with your helmet, to me, that's targeting. It's just not the targeting that would get something thrown on in college. They focus more on head injuries, which I get. Totally understand that. But we also have to understand that knees matter too, right? Player safety is important, but why do we only look at player safety from a, head situation? I mean, knee injuries are still bad too. So, yeah, unfortunately, Higbee won't be able to get his revenge against the Lions in week 1. He won't be back by then. But he could be back. He could be back to himself, I would say, later on in the year. Could help them with a run in the playoffs, having more playoff experience than any of the guys on the roster at tight end. But ultimately, I'm not expecting much out of Higbee. I'm thinking 250 to 300 yards if he's going to miss the beginning of the season. I think Parkinson and Allen will kind of do enough to kind of hold off Higbee. And I think this is kind of and I hope I'm wrong. I really like him. I've met him before. He's a nice guy. I hope I'm wrong. But I think this is kind of the beginning of the end for Tyler Higbee. I think this is kind of his downfall. I think coming back from this injury, he can, and I wouldn't be surprised. But as far as with the Rams, I think he's going to be the third option. Could be the second, but I could see him as a third option. So we'll see what ends up happening. Those are my thoughts. Regardless if you like him or not, let me know what you think below. Again, really rooting for Higbee. Do not take this as any slight against him or knock on him. The injury was BS. I've always said that. And if he didn't get hurt, they probably don't sign Parkinson and he's the number 1 tight end. Allen is number 2, just like last year. However, he did get hurt. So now we have to have that conversation, which we're having now. And ultimately, I think he's going to end up being at most a number 2, at best, at worst, a number 3. I don't think they're going to cut him, and I don't think they're going to trade him. I think he'll be along for the ride, but I'm hoping that he doesn't drop off the face of the earth as far as athleticism. It's not even saying that I think he'll do that. I think it's just like on the Rams, I think he's going to lose his standing. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, folks. Later. Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.